Hello, History and Heritage Explorers. Today we are here in Waco, Texas at the Doris Miller Memorial. So let's learn a little bit more about this man and why this memorial was built in his honor.
Hi, it's Miss Q again from History and Heritage Explorers. Doris Dorie Miller was born in Waco, Texas on October 12, 1919, to Henrietta and Connery Miller. Doris's father was a sharecropper, and life was not easy for the Miller family. Eventually, Connery Miller was able to purchase a farm of his own. Doris and his brothers helped a lot around the house. Growing up, Doris helped his mother with cooking meals and other chores like washing and hanging the laundry. During planting season and harvest time, he and his brothers worked on the family farm to help his father. Doris attended Moore High School in Waco and was a fullback on the football team. In 1938, he dropped out of school and spent his time hunting and helping his father on the family farm. To earn some extra money, Doris worked nights at a small diner as a line cook. Growing restless and seeking the ability to help provide more for his family and travel the world, he decided to join the military. On September 16, 1939, at a recruitment center in Dallas, Doris enlisted in the Navy as Mess Attendant 3rd Class. Following training at the Naval Training Station, Norfolk, Virginia, Miller was assigned to the ammunition ship U.S.S. Pyro, where he served as a mess attendant. On January 2, 1940, Doris was transferred to the U.S.S. West Virginia, which was based at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. While on the U.S.S. West Virginia, he began boxing and soon became the ship's heavyweight boxing champion. A day of infamy. The morning of December 7th, 1941 started like any other Sunday morning at the Pearl Harbor Navy base. Ships across the harbor were readying for Sunday Mass. Some sailors were sleeping in on their day off, and aboard the West Virginia, Mess Attendant 3rd Class Doris Miller woke up at 6 a.m. and was going about his morning duty. He served breakfast in the mess and was collecting laundry. At 7:57 a.m., the Japanese Navy launched a surprise attack. Torpedo planes from the Japanese aircraft carrier, the Akagi, fired the first 7 torpedoes that hit the West Virginia. This opening attack was captured in a photo taken by a Japanese pilot. The large column of water is a torpedo striking the West Virginia. This surprise attack was Japan's declaration of war against the United States. The battle station's alarm sounded, and Dorie, as his shipmates called him, went to his assigned station only to find that it had been destroyed by the torpedo's explosion. He rushed up to the deck to see if there was anything he could do to help out. Reporting himself available for other duty, he was assigned to help carry wounded sailors to places of greater safety. Dorie was ordered to accompany Lieutenant Commander Doris C. Johnson, the ship's communication officer, to the conning tower on the flag bridge to assist in moving the ship's captain, Mervyn Benyon, who had a gaping wound in his abdomen from shrapnel. Miller and another sailor lifted the skipper, but were unable to move him from the bridge, so they carried him from his exposed position on the damaged bridge to a sheltered spot on the deck behind the conning tower, where he remained during the second Japanese attack. Captain Benyon refused to leave his post and gave orders and instructions to crew members to defend the ship and fight. Unable to go to the deck below because of smoke and flames, he was carried up a ladder to the navigation bridge, where he died from blood loss. Captain Benyon was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. After saving the lives of his comrades by pulling them to safety and moving the ship's mortally wounded captain to cover, the heavyweight boxing champion of the U.S.S. West Virginia noticed that some of the deck guns were going unmanned. As Dorie approached the guns, he came across Lieutenant Frederick H. White. Lieutenant White ordered Dorie to help him and another sailor load the unmanned No. 1 and No. 2 50 caliber anti-aircraft machine guns. Dorie was not familiar with the weapon, but Lieutenant White instructed him on how to operate it and expected Miller to feed ammunition to one gun. The lieutenant turned his attention to the other sailor and gun. When he looked again, Dorie was firing the anti-aircraft gun. He fired the gun until he ran out of ammunition and is officially credited with downing at least 2 Japanese planes. Dorie later recounted, "I think I got one of those Jap planes. They were diving pretty close to us." In all, 132 men were killed and 52 were wounded on the U.S.S. West Virginia, and a total of 2,335 killed and 1,143 wounded from the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Miller was recognized as one of the first U.S. heroes of World War II, and on May 27, 1942, Dorie was personally recognized by Admiral Chester Nimitz, Commander-in-Chief, Pacific Fleet, aboard the aircraft carrier Enterprise at anchor in Pearl Harbor. Nimitz presented Miller with the Navy Cross, the third highest Navy award for gallantry during combat, after the Medal of Honor and the Navy Distinguished Service Medal. Congress later revised the order of precedence, placing the Navy Cross above the Distinguished Service Medal in precedence. Dorie advanced in rating to Mess Attendant First Class on June 1, 1942, and returned stateside to help promote war bonds. He traveled around the country and gave presentations drumming up support for the war efforts and recruitment. He was even featured on the 1943 Above and Beyond the Call of Duty Navy recruiting poster. On May 15, 1943, Dorie reported to Puget Sound Naval Yard in Washington State and was assigned to the newly constructed escort carrier Liscum Bay. He was on board the carrier during Operation Galvanic, the seizure of the Macon and Atarawa atolls in the Gilbert Islands. At 5:10 a.m. on November 24th, while cruising near Butaritari Island, the Japanese submarine I-175 fired a single torpedo that struck the escort carrier near the stern. The ship's arms magazine was hit and caused the carrier's own torpedoes and aircraft bombs, including the large 2,000-pounders, to detonate a few minutes later, sinking the Liscum Bay in 23 minutes. Only 272 sailors survived the sinking of the Liscum Bay, while 646 died. His parents were informed that he was missing in action on December 7th, 1943. Dorie was never found. In Waco, Texas, on December 7th, 2017, the 76th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor, a dedication ceremony was held to unveil a 9-foot-tall, 700-pound bronze sculpture and memorial of hometown World War II hero Doris Dorie Miller. To learn more about Doris Miller or the attack on Pearl Harbor, visit your school or local public library. If you like this video, please share and subscribe. Thank you from the History and Heritage Explorers.